Well, hello Story Chasers, this is Amber, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about toilets. So here's the thing, my toilet has broken. It is a Thetford cassette toilet. I'm having a really hard time sourcing the parts to fix it, so it's put me in this position of figuring out what are my next steps in my toilet situation. So there's a variety of options to go through, and that's what I want to talk to you today about, is kind of my process of figuring out what am I going to do about this toilet situation. We're going to talk about 4 different toilets. The first one is a composting toilet. The second one is a portable potty or portable toilet. The third one is a dry flush toilet. And the fourth one is my kind of current setup that I have to get through this time period when I haven't figured out my toilet situation. So we're going to talk about what it actually is, the different brands, what are the pros and cons, what are the costs of each toilet up front, and what are the ongoing costs and annual costs. I know that's a lot of information, but we're going to get right into it, and hopefully this will help you too if you're building out a van or thinking about changing your current setup. Alright, so first let me talk about what has happened to my toilet. If this is your first time at my channel, I am in a Heimer van. It's a converted Ram ProMaster 2500, and it was already built out for me when I purchased it. Now, the toilet situation, it's a cassette toilet, which are very popular in Europe, but not so much over here in the United States, although they're getting to be more popular. So here's the thing, my toilet is fine. It's the holding tank, the cassette, that goes into the side of the van that broke. The mechanism for the tank busted. They're plastic pieces, it's cheap. I know it's broken on other Heimer owners as well, but we cannot find these holding tanks here in the United States. So I had to actually go to the United Kingdom to get one. I didn't physically go there. I ordered it online. It never made it here to the United States. They've lost it. It's just been a mess all the way around. So in the meantime, I had to figure out a solution while I was waiting for this tank to get to me. And my solution was not completely elegant, but you know, you make do when problems like this happen. In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do about replacing this toilet. So now that the holding tank hasn't arrived, it's made me really consider even more what I should do, because this could happen again. The plastic piece can break. Do I really want to source all of my materials and supplies and stuff for this van from Europe, because it was European products mostly inside the van, and have the shipment go through customs and this delay, and it's just a pain, guys. So I really wanted to find something here in the US where I could get my hands on products easily or parts easily if it needs to be repaired. So now I want to show you what I'm currently doing. It is different. It's more what people in van life do typically if they don't want to put in a toilet. I know a lot of people who actually do this, but it's very foreign to me and was slightly uncomfortable when I first started doing it. But I've been doing this particular method for going on 4 weeks now, I think, and I've really gotten accustomed to it. So it's made me really rethink what I want to do with this toilet situation. So let me go show you. All right, here we go. So this is the standard toilet that came with the Heimer. This is a Thetford toilet. What I've essentially done is made this into a composting toilet. So what I've done is, let me just raise the lids here. There's your seat. So I put a big garbage bag inside of the toilet. Okay, I want to make sure this is double bagged. This is a 13-gallon bag, and this is an 8-gallon bag. I have this 8-gallon bag in here. Inside of it, I have this, it's called red cedar bedding. You can find this in the pet section at Walmart or any kind of supply place like that. All it is these shavings. They smell really nice, actually. Inside of the bag, I've put the red cedar shavings in here that you can see. This is a clean bag, by the way. And you just start out by putting a little bit in the bottom, and then you do your business. So we're just doing solids in here. So your number 2 in here. And then when you do that, you just put a little bit more of these shavings on top of that. And so you just keep covering it up. So the reason why you do all of that is you don't want the smell, basically. The first time I did this, I would just go number 2 in there in a bag. I would have to go throw it away immediately because it just stunk. That's why it's just really not an elegant solution. But when I did some research about how people deal with that with a composting toilet, a lot of times they'll use the red cedar shavings and supposedly really mask the odor of anything in there. And guys, it does not smell at all. It actually smells good. If you can imagine that, it does. I was able to go 4 times in that bag using that method. So basically that's like 2 days worth of going to the bathroom in there. I don't urinate in there at all. You don't want to do that because 1, the bag is going to get full. It could leak. You just want to do number 2. For urine, I actually have this bottle and this cup. I urinate inside this bottle and then I put it inside here if I can't dump this right away. So especially like at night if I have to go to the bathroom, I always pee in here first, dump it inside here, and that way I have this like ready to go for the next time. You can actually go put that outside if there's an appropriate place to put it. So that's what I've been doing, and so far it's been working out really well, especially since I got the red cedar shavings. I actually really like it. It's not bad. I mean, it's a little bit more upkeep, but we're gonna go into those pros and cons in just a minute. All right, so we're gonna start talking about our different toilets here and some of the costs and pros and cons. So the first one is the composting toilet, and the brand that I've looked at that I really like is called an Airhead composting toilet. The next one is a portable Thetford. I just kind of picked middle of the road on this one. There's a lot of different brands. The dry flush, there's only one that I know of called a Laveo. And then the current solution is using Current Toilet. So let's talk about what these toilets are first of all. A composting toilet is a toilet that uses a diversion method. So the urine is diverted into a separate tank, and then your solid, your number 2, is diverted into another separate tank, and then you put some kind of material in there like peat moss or coco coir to make it compostable. You would have this little lever that you turn and that composting material and your solids to mix it all up and keep it nice and even throughout there to actually create a composting material. The second one, the portable toilet, is essentially what I have right now, where you have some kind of a cassette or another holding tank that you can remove from the toilet and then dump in some kind of a receptacle like a toilet or any kind of a dumping station. So the difference is that right now my cassette toilet, there's the actual toilet, and then there's the cassette holding tank that's underneath that, but you have to access it from outside. With the portable toilets, it's just kind of all in one. It sits on top of each other, and nothing's outside. It sits on top of each other, and you just have to remove the top portion to grab the tank and go dump it. The third option is the dry flush. So a dry flush is, it uses no chemicals, no water, no dumping in a sewer, nothing like that, and we'll get into that in just a minute. The fourth option is my current situation, which I just showed you. All right, so let's get into the upfront costs and all of the costs actually, and pros and cons. The first one is the Airhead composting toilet. So the upfront cost for this is $1,029, not including shipping. The Thetford Portable toilet, again, this is middle of the road, is right around $150. Now there are some that are more, some that are less. The Laveo Dry Flush is $685. And the current situation is, well, $0 because I already have it. So then you have anything that you need to add to it to maintain it and keep it working as it should. So for the composting toilet, you need peat moss or coco coir or something like that, and that one is $40 per brick. The portable toilet, you need chemicals. One package is $10 for 10 little packs of chemical that you throw down in there. The dry flush toilet, you need the cartridges that come with it. It's these Mylar bags, and you have to buy them directly from this company. This one was quite spendy, I thought. So the cartridge itself is $55 for 15 to 17 flushes, and there's 3 cartridges in one set. That's $55, but they want $25 for shipping, so $80 for 3 cartridges. Okay, and then the current situation that I'm using right now, you need the red cedar bedding, 2 different trash bags, so 3 things. All together is $15.50 up front. So your ongoing costs would be all of these things that we talked about that you're gonna need. So the coco coir, the chemicals for the portable toilet, the Mylar bags for the Laveo, and then the red cedar bedding and the trash bags for my current situation. So the ongoing cost for the composting toilet would be $40 per brick basically. And each brick lasts 4 to 6 weeks. So when I say a brick, it's the cocoa core. You can get peat moss and things like that, but we're just gonna go with the brick, which is what they suggest. So I figured out with the way that I go to the bathroom that it would be $40 every 4 to 6 weeks for me. Then for the portable toilet, I feel like the 5.5 gallon tank that the Thetford has for this would be about 2 weeks for me. And that's $1 per pack of chemicals. So it would be $1 for every time I dump the tank. And then the dry flush, it's 15 to 17 flushes per cartridge of bags. If I went to the bathroom 2 times a day, we're only talking number 2 to save cost. 2 times a day flushing, your weekly cost would be about $27. On the current situation with the red cedar bedding and the trash bags, I'm looking at about 34 cents every 2 days. We'll annualize the cost so you can really compare apples to apples. So the annual cost for the composting toilet, this depends on how much you go to the bathroom, of course, but it could be anywhere between $350 to $520. The portable toilet is gonna be about $26 annually, not too bad. The dry flush, whoa, $1,314. It's a lot. And then my current situation would be $64. So the winner for cost is the portable at $26 annually. That's just for the chemicals. Now that doesn't include the cost if you have to pay to dump it somewhere. I'm only including materials that you would need here. A lot of times I can find free places to dump, so I didn't really factor that into my cost. Upfront cost, by the way, current situation obviously wins, but if I'm looking at getting a different toilet, the portable toilet wins as far as the cost factor, $150 versus $1,029 for composting and $685 for the dry flush. All right, let's talk about the pros now. The pros for the composting toilet is you don't need a sewer dump. It's easy to use. No plastic parts, which is important for breaking. Easy to use for off-grid camping. And you can stay out a little bit longer because you can dump your pee out on the ground and you can actually just we're talking about 4 to 6 weeks for the composting material, so you can easily get back into town and throw that away in a bag. No chemicals, that's nice. And it's also great for when I sell the van. The cons of the composting toilet are you have to remove the entire toilet to dump the composting. That's a kind of a big one. Upfront cost is pretty hefty. You need to vent it with a hose, so that means you're gonna cut a hole in your RV somewhere to vent it. Not too big of a deal, but it's something that you need to factor into. Installation, so I'll need to hire someone to help me with that potentially, or buy some tools. I have heard sometimes the smells from the urine diverter can get bad, but you could use vinegar to keep the smell down. And then you need some place to store the peat moss or the cocoa core. So let's move to the portable tank now. The pros for the portable is it's 5.5 gallons, which is bigger than what I currently have. So that can last a little bit longer. That's nice. It's just like my current setup, original setup of my toilet. So it's just a portable tank and you go dump it like you normally would in a toilet or a sewer dump. It's cheaper to replace if I need to. The tank that I currently have, it was almost $300 from the UK, which I never even received, where this is $150 for the entire toilet. So cheaper to replace if you need to. It's self-contained and no electricity needed. That's good. It's also great for when I sell the van. Let's get to the cons now. I would need to figure out a way to secure to the floor. It's something that can be overcome, but it just makes installation a little bit trickier. It does have those darn plastic parts again, which can break easily. I've heard that can also have leaking issues, which can be a problem when we're talking about urine. That's no fun. You don't want that smell. It can be heavy to lift because it is 5.5 gallons. So it can be heavy to lift if it's completely full, and you need to find a place to dump it, which again is the same situation that I have now. On the dry flush, it had a lot of pros and hardly any cons, but let's go through those. This one is also self-contained. You can buy one that uses AC or uses a battery, so I would opt for the battery method. No chemicals and no liquids, which means no leaking. That's good. It's like a diaper genie, so no smell, supposedly. It's easy to dump in a trash. This part I really like. It is highly portable and you can move where you want. Same thing actually with the Thetford, it's portable as well, so we'll list that as a pro. This one is also great for when I sell. The cons are the cost, ongoing actually, that's pretty hefty. Cost ongoing is the $13.14, which is a lot. And then storage of cartridges. The other one is you must buy the cartridges from the manufacturer. If they go out of business, well, then you've got a very expensive toilet that you can't use anymore. That would be definitely a con. All right, so my current situation is, well, it's actually the cheapest method. I can use an existing toilet. There's no smells with that red cedar shavings now. I can dump it anywhere where there's a trash can. This is getting tight over here, so it's hard to write. There's no electricity. And there's no chemicals. Those are all huge pluses. The cons, not good, I don't think, for when I sell. I think people are gonna want an actual toilet that they can use, but we can work on that in the sale price. It's really not an elegant solution, but it doesn't really bother me too much at this point. I have to maintain a bucket for when I'm off grid, like a paint bucket, that I can put the bags of waste inside of the bucket with a gamma lid so that it doesn't smell. So what did you think about all of these different scenarios here between the composting, the portable, the dry flush, and my current situation? It's a lot of food for thought here. If I'm thinking about my current situation, if I wanted a more elegant solution that's a little bit cheaper, not too cost prohibitive, I think that I probably would go with a composting toilet just because of the off-grid situation. I really like the benefit of being able to stay off-grid longer and not have to worry about my toilet and dumping situation. I think the thing that really deters me from it is potentially the smell, which we can figure out and combat. I know a lot of people who have composting toilets and they have figured out that situation. Mostly, I think, from the urine. Urine stinks. Even when I do this bottle, it stinks in here too. So I put a little bit of pine sol in the bottom of it, sometimes to keep the smell down and keep things from crystallizing in there and getting gross. But I hate the fact that you have to remove the entire toilet and go outside and dump everything. I mean, this is such a tight space, but you'd only have to do it every 4 to 6 weeks. So I don't think it's too bad. But the cost up front is quite expensive, $1,029, and then ongoing costs $350 to $520. I think the dry flush is for sure out the door. One, the ongoing cost is too expensive at a little over $1,300 annually. No, that's just way too much. Plus, if the company goes out of business, like I said, you have this very expensive toilet that you can't use and you're looking at this situation again. Plus, you always have to have the sets sent to you somewhere, and I'm all over the place. So having to worry about that all the time is just, to me, just a pain. I don't want to have to deal with that. That's completely out. So that leaves now the portable or my current solution. I'm not sure, to be honest. The portable tank solution would be more like what I have now, and you can actually sit on a toilet and go to the bathroom all the time. And the other thing is that you could just, dump it like I normally have. So I'm used to this situation. So this is a viable option. It's inexpensive. $150 mid-range, $26 annual cost. That's pretty inexpensive, and you have a nice toilet situation potentially. I am, however, concerned about the leaking, so I may have to just do some more research. Thetford, I will tell you, I'm not impressed with that brand. That's what I currently have, and this is the one that I looked at that a lot of people were talking about, but some of the reviews said that these leak, so I think I need to do some more research if I'm going to go with that option. You guys might be surprised by this, but the current situation of doing what I'm doing with a red cedar bedding and going pee in a bottle actually sounds more advantageous to me. And I'll tell you why. One, it's cheaper. The cost isn't such a huge thing if it's a nice long-term solution, right? So if I felt that the composting toilet was absolutely worth it, I mean, I would spend the $1,000 for it. But the current solution is far cheaper. Zero up front, except for the bags that I purchased in the red cedar bedding, which was what, $15.50, almost $16. But the annual cost is only $64. It's such a better situation for off-grid camping. So I don't know, I think I may stay with my current situation right now. I know that probably sounds weird to some of you, but I think I kind of like it. I'm gonna stick with it for a little bit. The other problem with right now the Airhead and the dry flush, if you wanted the dry flush, they have anywhere between 8 to 10 week lead time on getting those because of the pandemic. They're having a hard time sourcing materials. So another great reason to go with my current situation. The portable toilet you can order on Amazon, no problem whatsoever, and get that. So I think that if I wasn't doing my current situation, it would be a toss-up between the composting and the portable. I'm still undecided, to be honest. I like both of them, but the cost factor of the portable sounds better. It's easily replaceable and I can move it around. So the reason why I like that is because at some point I want to redo this whole area and I won't have to like pull up the Airhead composting toilet and reseat it and reinstall things. Plus the other thing too is that actually this may be the deciding factor now that I think about it. When I do the renovation, I want to take out the bathroom and all of the stuff behind me and then put the toilet on a slider so I can slide it in and out of a bench seat. So the composting toilet actually wouldn't work for that. So yeah, actually I think that's out. Composting is out for me. I can't slide it in and out. So it's either going to be the portable or my current situation. And if I think about my current situation in a renovated van, I would probably get rid of that toilet, and they have actually buckets that you can buy that have a toilet seat on it. So it would be a similar situation, but it would just be a bucket and you could put a toilet seat on it. So again, very easy, portable, you can move it around. I could take it outside if I wanted to. Yeah, I actually think I like that idea. What do you think? If you had to do this, which solution would you choose? Go ahead and leave me a comment below. I hope you liked this. It was very different, I know, but it was me trying to figure out exactly what I needed in my van. And hopefully this helps you if you're looking to change your toilet, or if you're just starting out in a van or an SUV or even a car. There's all kinds of solutions out there. Real quick too, I have links to every single one of these products down in the description box so you can do your research. And I've also included a couple of videos that I watched that kind of helped me in my research decision as well. So click on those links in the description box or the pinned comment. Guys, thank you so much for joining me in this video today, and make sure you're out there story chasing. That's what this is all about. That's what my entire travel vlog is all about, is story chasing and living my dreams, and I hope you are too. All right guys, have a good evening, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.